Good afternoon, everyone. We are SK Consulting, and we are excited to present our recommendations for Juice Perfect. So on the next slide, I'm Dan. We have Supriya, Marcos, and Chandan. And to give you an overview of what we're going to go through today, we did a thorough analysis of your supply chain, and we were looking for opportunities for you to reduce your costs as well as increase customer satisfaction that will increase your sales. There was two main recommendations that we found. The first is that you should outsource your logistics management to a consulting firm with expertise, because that way you can leverage that expertise to optimize your network without the expensive investment in the software required to do it. We also recommend you to implement a CRM system along with an RFID system to better track the movement of the shipments through your network so that you can provide your executives visibility to make better supply chain decisions, as well as notify your customers of the status of their shipments. That will increase their customer satisfaction in the long run. Based on our projections, we see a almost $500,000 increase in sales in the short term, and it only requires a total of about $300,000 of investments. That's pretty strong ROI. To go through our problem statement on the next slide, we were looking at the movement of your goods. So based on the gray dots you can see sprinkled around the map there, that's where your demand clusters are. And we looked at your facilities in Utah and Oregon, which are your warehouse, and your Washington and California production facilities. And you can see there's a lot going on here in terms of how things are moving. That's the arrows recommend your routes. And the inefficient flow of the goods through that transportation network is increasing your costs. So we're recommending that you optimize this to reduce that transportation cost and meet those cost reduction goals. So there's really two ways that you can do this. The first is, of course, you can bring this in-house. But based on our projections, you have to invest in the analyst, the software, and the hardware to run that software, and it's going to cost you about $500,000, which almost completely eliminates that ROI that we were projecting. Conveniently, SK Consulting has a supply chain optimization department, and I talked to our experts over there, and based on your order volume, because you have a lot of high-value orders, but the volume of orders is not that high, it would only take about 25 hours a month to optimize your network for our department. And at a rate of $150 an hour, that investment is only $45,000 a year, which is about 10% of the investment doing this in-house. So we're really recommending going down that route. So with that in mind, I'm going to pass on to Marcos, who's going to talk a little bit about your product mix.
Hi, everybody. I'm Marcos Londoño. Thank you so much, Dan. So now we saw, thanks to Dan, how in a very high level, how we have to implement these solutions. We're going to go more in details how are the solutions that will help us to reduce costs and increase revenues. So first of all, we have this amazing and very interesting solution that is help us to save around $2,000, $50,000, and we call the orange solution. The orange solution is no more than something that we saw in the data that we found very interesting. We saw that first of all, we saw that the late arrival in rotten orders got the most rejected or more returned for the manufacturer. So when we go deeper on that, we saw that the orders that have more than 20 to 25% of orange in those orders were with much more probability to get rejected or be returned to the manufacturer. So that's why we saw something interesting that it's very easy to implement, that just to have to, with the logistic team, you only have to reorder, or you have to manage the order just to have on tops 20 to 25% of orange in the different orders. And with that simple element, you will get an improve of around, as I told you, to almost $250,000 in savings. To the next slide, please. In this one, for the second solution in detail, we saw different solutions that will help us to increase revenues based on increase on capacity for the shipment, and also for reduce other costs based on maintenance. First of all, we saw different information that we saw that with the traffic for the reasons for delay of the shipment, we saw that the traffic was the most important one for the delay of the shipment. For that specific one, we saw that it was very interesting to implement some solution that will help us based on different technological advance, will help to connect the trucks with the different satellites and communication system that will help to the driver or to the different system to take better decisions about the routes. And that will help us to really to increase 8% the capacity of the shipment, and at the end we hope that 8% on extra capacity will become in 8% of revenues additional. Then for reducing costs, we saw a very interesting way to reduce costs in, as you see, around $130,000 based on implementation of a predictive maintenance system. This is very interesting because it's a new technology and it's like a just-in-time in manufacturing, but it's for maintenance. In this one, you will implement the maintenance just when really the different technological system based on machine learning and maybe different sensors will let you know that this is the time for the different pieces to need maintenance. So it's, as I told you, it's a just in time. So based on that, we're going to get some additional costs. Now I'm going to pass to Supriya.
Thank you, Marcos. One of the main things that we noticed to improve our customer engagement is introducing a CRM tool, such as Salesforce or Oracle Siebel. This would empower the sales management team to improve their sales forecasting, reporting, improve customer satisfaction, as well as retention. So there are two major tools that we can use, analytical as well as operational. The analytical CRM tool would be tied into the current ERP system at JuicePerfect. We have a detailed solution that includes RFIDs. RFIDs will track the order and just bring in total transparency into the system. The operational aspect will give better view for executives to make decisions in the real time. Delving deeper into the RFID solution, right now we have about $130K revenue loss due to inefficient order processing. By just investing $70,000, we can implement an RFID system. This would bring in real-time visibility into order tracking, improve inventory control, increase the speed of loading and unloading crates, as well as increase the accuracy of every shipper. One of the biggest problems that retailers have is not having items on the shelf when customers want to buy them. As SK Consulting, we don't want JuicePerfect to be one of those people who cannot provide their customers their amazing juices. In the next slide, we kind of look at what a customized dashboard might be for executives to view and make real-time decisions. This would be tied into this will leverage the data from the ERP system and present it in an easy readable manner such that executives can make actionable insights and act on it. So our offering in all is for a capital investment of $140K and an operating investment of $163K, we will promise you a revenue increase of 5% in the short term and 8% in the long term. Thank you for your time, and we're open for questions.